Scorpio, listen to me very carefully, because what I am about to say is not meant to scare you. It is meant to prepare you. There is an emotional wave approaching your life, and as the energy of November 24th draws closer, it carries the kind of truth that can bring tears to your eyes, not because you are doomed, but because you are finally ready to see what your soul has been whispering for a very long time. This is the kind of truth that doesn't just brush past your day and disappear. It sits in your chest, shakes something loose inside you, and asks you to stop pretending you are fine with what has been slowly draining you. If you landed on this message before Monday, understand that you didn't wander here by accident. You were magnetically pulled here by a thread of energy that has been wrapping itself around your story for months, maybe even years. Your spirit made the appointment, your intuition kept the reminder alive, and now your conscious mind has finally caught up. This is not random, this is alignment. You may have felt it building already, that strange pressure in your body that doesn't have a name, a tightness in your chest or throat when you think about a certain situation, person, or decision you keep postponing. Maybe you have been waking at odd hours, replaying conversations that never sat right, questioning whether you are the problem, wondering why your heart feels so heavy even when nothing on the surface looks dramatically wrong. That is not you being dramatic. That is your nervous system responding to a truth that has been trying to rise. November 24th is not a magic date stamped with fate in some external book. It is an energetic turning point for you, a moment in time when what has been simmering beneath the surface becomes too loud to ignore. You may receive a message, overhear a sentence, see a name pop up. Notice a sudden silence where there used to be noise, or simply feel an inner click, a sharp moment of recognition where something finally makes sense. However it appears, it is less about the form and more about what it reveals, where you have been betraying yourself just to keep a fragile peace. The energy around you now is shaped like three archetypal forces walking side by side into your life, one that demands balance, one that removes illusions, and one that promises victory after the dust settles. You are being asked to look honestly at where your heart has been negotiating against its own truth, where you have been carrying more than your share in relationships, at work, or in your own mind. Maybe you kept giving someone the benefit of the doubt, while they quietly benefited from your doubt in yourself. Maybe you kept shrinking to avoid conflict, telling yourself you were just being kind, when in reality you were slowly disappearing from your own story. The truth that is coming is not here to humiliate you. It is here to highlight these patterns so clearly that you cannot lie to yourself anymore. That is why there may be tears, Scorpio. Not because you are weak, but because your heart is tired of swallowing what it was never meant to digest. There is a sacred kind of crying that happens when the soul finally feels safe enough to admit, "I knew this all along." The tears of November 24th belong to that category. They are not the wild, panicked tears of disaster. They are the deep, trembling tears of release, the ones that fall when you finally put down a weight you have carried for too long. Perhaps the shocking part is not what someone else did, said, or hid from you, but how long you convinced yourself it was fine. How long you tolerated crumbs and called it a feast. How long you normalized being sidelined, dismissed or taken for granted, because a part of you feared there would be nothing left if you stopped trying so hard. This reveal is not the universe attacking you. It is the universe answering the quiet question you kept shoving into the background. Is this really all there is for me? On November 24th, or in the emotional window surrounding it, life begins to respond, not in whispers, but in clarity. Scorpio, your sign is not about playing small, it is about alchemy. You are the phoenix, the one who can walk through fire and come back with new wings, but even a phoenix feels the burn. That is why your body has been restless, why your sleep has been strange, why certain names, memories, and feelings keep circling around like planets that refuse to leave your orbit. The shocking truth that is approaching may expose a hidden agenda, an emotional manipulation, a lie of omission, or a pattern you learned long ago that has been quietly sabotaging your joy. Yet beneath all of that, the deepest truth is about you. You are not required to abandon yourself to keep anyone else comfortable. The energy of this moment is like a spiritual courtroom, not where you are on trial, but where your heart is finally given a voice. Every time you said yes while your whole chest was whispering no, every time you laughed it off when you wanted to cry, every time you made excuses for someone who never really showed up for you, the record has been kept, not by a cruel judge in the sky, but by your own nervous system and soul. As we move closer to this emotional reveal, you may notice that certain conversations feel heavier, that certain spaces feel tighter, that your tolerance for pretending is disappearing. You might catch a look on someone's face that suddenly makes all their past words line up differently in your mind. You may reread an old message and, for the first time, see the disrespect, the dismissal, or the indifference you glossed over before. You may realize that the job you have been clinging to has never really respected your effort, that the friend you defend would never defend you, that the love you have been holding on to is really just a habit wrapped in nostalgia. These recognitions can sting, they can feel like explosions, but the truth is they don't destroy what is real, they destroy what was never solid in the first place. What cannot survive the light was never meant to hold your future. On November 24th, or around that moment, the universe is offering you a chance to step out from under the weight of expectations that do not belong to you. This could look like a conversation where you finally say what you really mean, not with cruelty, but with clarity. It could look like you quietly deciding not to chase, not to explain, not to prove yourself one more time to someone who never truly saw you. It could look like the end of a pattern inside your own head, where you stop telling the old story that you are too much, not enough, too late, or too broken to deserve what you deeply crave. Tears of truth are not there to drown you. They are there to baptize you into a new chapter, one where you do not abandon your own heart as a sacrifice for belonging. Your mind may ask, but what if I am wrong? What if I am overreacting? Scorpio, you are one of the most intuitive signs in the zodiac. Your gut has been speaking long before this message reached you. Think back to the moments where your body reacted before your mind could justify. The strange tension in your stomach when someone walked into the room. The way your energy dropped after a certain phone call. The way your spirit felt calmer when you took distance, even if you felt guilty. These were not glitches, they were guidance. The reveal that is coming is not designed to show you something foreign. It is here to confirm what you already sensed. When the truth lands, it will feel less like a stranger bursting through the door and more like a long-lost friend saying, "You knew. You always knew." That is why this message is reaching you before Monday, in this window of time where your awareness is already ripening. The universe is not obsessed with dates on a calendar the way we are, but it does use moments as mirrors. November 24th is being highlighted in your energy field as a symbolic doorway, a point where the emotional pressure can no longer be ignored and a choice must be made. Continue pretending or begin aligning. No one can make that choice for you. Not this reading, not another person, not even the most intense sign in the sky. You are the one who decides whether the tears that fall will simply wash over old wounds or water the soil of a new beginning. So what do you do with this? You prepare not by bracing for disaster, but by grounding into yourself. In the days leading toward this emotional turning point, take time to slow down. Put your hand over your heart and ask, where have I been lying to myself? Where have I been settling for someday, for maybe, when my soul is craving a yes that feels like peace? Write down whatever rises, even if it doesn't make sense yet. Your subconscious is trying to speak in symbols, dreams, and subtle nudges. Pay attention to repeating phrases, songs that seem to follow you, numbers that keep appearing, conversations that all circle the same theme. These are the breadcrumbs. Follow them back to the place where your truth has been waiting. When the reveal comes, whether through a conversation, an internal realization, or a quiet knowing that crashes over you like a wave, remember this: you do not have to rush into action. Sometimes the first step after truth is not movement, but stillness. Let yourself feel. If you need to cry, cry. If your hands shake, let them. If you feel a strange mix of grief and relief, trust that both are valid. The soul often mourns what hurt it, simply because it invested so much hope there. You are allowed to grieve the version of you who didn't know better, even as you celebrate the version of you who finally does. That paradox is holy. And then, slowly, as the emotional waters settle, you will begin to sense the outline of what comes next. This is where the energy of quiet victory enters. You may start to see small signs of support you didn't notice before, a new opportunity, a kind message from someone unexpected, a piece of information that validates your choice, a sense of inner peace where there used to be constant questioning. These are confirmations. The universe rarely shouts congratulations in the obvious ways, but it does send you alignment, synchronicity, and a nervous system that can finally exhale. In that space, you will realize that the shocking truth did not break you. It broke the container that kept you compressed. Scorpio, your tears are not a prophecy of doom. They are a sign that your heart is still alive, still honest, still capable of turning pain into wisdom. What is being revealed around November 24th is not meant to trap you in fear of what might happen. It is meant to invite you into deeper participation with your own life. You're not meant to sit back and wait for some external force to save or doom you. You are being invited to stand beside yourself, to choose the path that honors your dignity, your spirit, and your future. The karmic energy around you now is not out to get you. It is trying to hand you back the pen to your own story. As you listen to this, let it move through you like water, cleansing what is ready to go and nourishing what is ready to grow. You don't have to accept every detail for this to be powerful. Take what resonates in your chest, what makes your intuition hum, and leave the rest gently to the side. This message is not here to lock you into fear. It is here to remind you that you have always been more powerful than the circumstances that tried to shape you. In the deep quiet after the tears, you will hear it clearly, the sound of your own soul saying, "Thank you for finally listening." And as we close this journey, let these words rest in your spirit like a soft candle flame rather than a flashing alarm. This narrative is not a rigid script carved into stone. It is a mirror, a possibility, a symbolic story about what can unfold when a Scorpio heart chooses truth over illusion. It is a thought experiment for the soul, a way of giving language to the inner shifts you may already be feeling. If this message awakens something ancient and honest inside you, hold on to the parts that feel true and let them guide your next gentle step. If some parts do not fit, let them drift past you like clouds across a wide sky, without forcing them to mean more than they do. Nothing spoken here is a substitute for your own wisdom, your own judgment, or any professional guidance you may need in the material world. It is simply an offering of perspective, a spiritual story you are free to accept, reshape, or release. You are the one with the final say over your path. You are the one who decides what this date, this truth, this turning point will mean. And somewhere deep in your chest, beyond fear and beyond shock, your soul already knows how to answer. So as you move toward November 24th and the Monday that follows it, walk gently but consciously with yourself, as if you are accompanying a beloved friend through a long-awaited doorway. Speak kindly to your own heart. Drink more water than anxiety. Choose silence over arguments that only drain you, and let small, grounded actions become your proof that you are no longer abandoning yourself the way you once did. Whether that looks like turning off your phone a little earlier, stepping outside to feel real air on your face when the thoughts get loud, writing one honest sentence in a journal before bed, or simply placing your hand over your chest and whispering, "I am here, and I am on my own side now." Because in the end, Scorpio, the most shocking reveal is not what someone else does or fails to do. The most breathtaking revelation is the moment you realize you have become the safe place you were always seeking, that you can hold your own truth without running from it, and that every tear of truth you shed is really a declaration that you are finally, fiercely, beautifully alive.